Hello everyone and welcome to my TP guided teaching practice and individual study. I am Elsie Thomason. Chapter 3 Overview of the Plan of Approach. The researcher first identified the selected group, which was a Year 1 class. The curriculum area chosen to conduct this research was literacy, since this was the area that would have been sufficient to meet the specific needs of learners selected. After the curriculum area was selected, the researcher then carefully looked for a topic and subtopics that were to be taught. The topic selected was letter B. 4 subtopics were chosen, namely phonemic awareness, phonics, letter recognition, and differentiating between uppercase B and lowercase b. The researcher then began to source other relevant information from credible sources. Teaching and learning materials to be constructed were then decided upon by the researcher. An estimate cost was then made for the materials to be constructed. A proposal was then completed and submitted to the lecturer, which outlined the objectives, subtopics, and title of the study. The proposal was approved. The researcher then commenced the construction of materials, which took 10 days to complete. Lesson plans were then prepared for the lessons to be taught. The materials were then used to teach the lesson, which took place on the 10th of October to the 13th of October 2023. Identification of learners, teachers, and school environment. The learners. The target group that the researcher used was a Year 1 class. The class comprised of 12 learners, of which 3 being boys and 9 being girls, with the age ranges from 3 years to 4 years, of which 7 learners were the main participant for the study. The researcher observed that the target group has a social bond among learners. All learners socialized with every learner despite of their religion, race, gender, and weaknesses. They all looked out for each other. Most of the learners reside in the St. Montrose area, which is located next to the North Weislos Nursery. Below is a sample of a class list of the North Weislos Nursery School, Year 1, boys and girls. Here is a list of school rules for learners. I must come to school regularly and punctually. I must always respect my teachers and peers. I must always ask the teacher before leaving the class. I must care for everything around me. I must say please, thank you, and excuse me when necessary. And here is the dress code for learners. Below is a short history of the North Weislos Nursery School. School objectives adapted from the objectives of Guyana Nursery School Education Program. To promote the physical growth and development of a child, to facilitate the development of psychomotor skills, to help each child to develop feeling of self-worth, to encourage problem solving and develop reading skills for the future experiences in languages, mathematics, and other areas of learning, to promote patriotism among the child of Guyana, to provide each child with experience that makes him aware of the beauty of the environment and to encourage him to communicate his ideas and feeling through a variety of creative ideas. To establish and maintain communication and cooperation in school, home, and child's needs. To inculcate habit that promotes good health. Here is the North Vicelos North School philosophy, vision statement, and mission statement. School philosophy. Working together with all stakeholders to set up a learning environment which will promote primary readiness in literacy and numeracy for the nursery age child over a 2-year period. Vision statement. To establish a working relationship with all stakeholders towards the delivery of early childhood quality education and moral values in a safe and child-friendly environment. Mission statement. Working together with all stakeholders to set up a child-friendly environment which will develop the nursery-age learners with the necessary skills and moral values they would need at the primary level. Here is the North Vicelos Nursery School Pledge. I will always respect and obey my teachers and show love, kindness, and care to my little friends. And below is the school song of the nursery school. School motto: Together we build. Morning prayer. Father, we thank thee for the night and for the pleasant morning light, for rest and food and love and care, and all that makes the world so fair. Help us to do the things we should, to be to others kind and good, in all that we do and all that we say, to be more loving every day. These are the subjects offered at the North Vicelos Nursery School. Year 1 Language Experience, News and Picture Study, Social Studies, Science, Health and Family Life Education, Mathematics, Shared Reading, and Show and Tell. The only difference that the Year 2 has from the Year 1 is that the Year 2 learners are doing guided reading instead of shared reading. Teacher and the school environment. The name of the school which the study was carried out is North Vicelos Nursery School. This school is situated at 47 Vicelos North East Coast, Demerara. The type of school. The school is a grade D nursery school and has a population of 53 learners. The staff composition. As you can see on the table, there is one head teacher, one senior assistant mistress, and 4 temporary qualified mistress. So in all, the school has a total of 6 staff members. And here is a list of responsibilities of a head teacher. Liaises with the school and community, parents, agencies, and institutions, as well as between school and regional education administration and central ministry. Implement, monitor, and evaluate instructional and co-curriculum programs and activities. Ensure that a termly schedule of activities or a work program prepared for the school. Hold regular staff development sessions for all teachers and upgrading sessions for inexperienced teachers. Organize clinical supervision. Evaluate A. Pupil performance. B. Teachers' instructional program. Organize and maintain a viable PTA, PAC. Prepare monthly reports for the DEO, DES on the functioning of the school. Ensure that the standard operational procedure, code of conduct, and school rules are always observed. Mobilize for national events. Account for financial and material resources of the school. Senior assistant mistresses. Assist the head teacher in effecting a smooth administration of the school. Organizes, manages, and supervises a section or division of the school. Recommends policies to the administration for improvement of the system service. Assist in curriculum organization, implementation, and evaluation. Provides for continuous revision and evaluation in the section or division where he or she has responsibility. Attends to students' welfare matters, example attendance, punctuality, and regularity. Ensure sanitation rules are observed. Temporary qualified mistress. Assist in management of house system. Assist in updating of stockbook. Recording textbook distribution. Supervise the Year 1 class and Year 2 class. Planning with Year 1 teacher. Supervising classroom environment. Prepare and label children books. Recording daily statistics. Description of the construction of materials, including time taken for the construction of materials. So, in conducting the study, the researcher used a variety of materials in order to make the teaching learning process effective. Some of these materials were printed, such as worksheets and pictures, to make teaching aids. Some materials were purchased, such as glue gun, glow sticks, scotch tape, roller, markers, paint, cardboard, colored paper, buttons, shoelace, and others were recycled materials such as toilet paper rolls, which were used to make the flower holders. Materials that were borrowed from school are dough and chalk. Process using in assembling of materials. When the 4 lessons were planned, it required mainly manipulated materials. Some of the materials were constructed by the teacher, while others were purchased, used from recycled, and borrowed from the school. As such, these materials were all assembled before each lesson was taught, so as to help the researcher to be better prepared and organized when delivering the content of the lesson. In lesson 1, the researcher purchased cardboards, markers, scotch tape, paste to make a big book, shoelace, printed large pictures, and printed worksheets for the learners to use. In lesson 2, the researcher purchased cardboards, markers, colored papers to make a storybook, buttons for the learners to paste around the letter B, purchased foam sheet to make a cutout of letter B, and printed pictures to make a puzzle. In lesson 3, the researcher purchased paint brushes in order to make a family letter tree. She also printed out worksheets for the learners to use. In lesson 4, the researcher purchased a glue gun and a glow stick in order to make a flower holder, and reused the materials from lesson 3, which is the storybook, and printed out worksheets for the learners to use. Time taken to assemble materials. The purchasing of the raw materials used in the construction of the various teaching materials took approximately 1 day, since all were bought from one store. The recycled and borrowed materials that were used to take approximately 1 day to source. Construction of teaching materials took approximately 5 days to complete. Overall, the sourcing and constructing of the teaching materials took 7 days. Below is a table showing the description of materials, the unit cost, and the approximate cost, and the total amount that was spent to purchase the items listed. Evaluation of materials in a practical situation. Evaluation is an essential component of any well-designed lesson plan. It plays a vital role in assessing the effectiveness of teaching methods, measuring student learning outcomes, and providing valuable feedback for both educators and learners. By systematically evaluating the progress and achievements of students throughout a lesson, teachers can identify strengths and areas of improvement, adapt their instructional strategies, and ensure the educational objectives are met. The researcher planned to evaluate the materials used for each of the lessons through the following: 1. Feedback to the teacher from the students' responses. 2. Worksheets. In the study, evaluation was done by response from the learners after being questioned by the teacher and the worksheets used during the lesson. This is the end of my presentation for Chapter 3. Thank you for watching.